Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're reinventing crank, so let's get into it. Welcome back to next episode of Reinventing franchises. Today reinventing crank. Now before I do, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for his algorithm. So yeah, I want to do crank. So crank is, if you don't know what crank is, basically is this guy who gets injected with poison that requires him to keep his adrenaline levels high in order to stay alive until he finds the cure. So basically, he has adrenaline in his heart, so he has to try and stay active and alive so that he doesn't die. And that's pretty much what Crank is. 2 is the same thing, but the problem with Crank, same with Crank 2, he just uses electricity to stay alive, which I kind of like Crank 1. I think it's okay. 2 is good, but I feel like 2 is a bit, I don't know, but if I was to do it, I wanted to follow, if I were to do a Crank 3, I want it to follow the first one instead of the second one. Because I feel like the first one was okay. I feel like the second one, it was too over the top. That was the problem I had with the second movie. And so, yeah. So, yeah, I love Crank 1. I love High Voltage, the second one. I would want to Crank, I don't know why we haven't had a Crank 3. Like, there's been talks, the directors have talked, they said they want to do a third one. I don't know if we'll get a third one, to be honest. And I will want Amy Smart to come back and Jason Statham to come back. I love Crank. I think it's a fun movie. I would want a second one. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for Crank. Like, I wanted to follow the footsteps of the first one and not the second one. Because I thought the second one was too over the top. I love Crank. To this day, I still think it's good. It's a good movie. You should check it out if you haven't. It's such an underrated movie. So that's pretty much it. That's what I do with Crank. You're pretty much him, your adrenaline. But, because there's basically post-credit scene at the end where, or there's a post-credit ending where he's in the hospital and then he wakes up because they thought he died, but he didn't. So that they could do a Crime 3 that picks up from there, but instead of the electricity, they just follow the first one where he just has to try and stay active instead, because the second one is the same thing, but the second one he needs electricity to stay alive. That's the problem I have with High Voltage. I think High Voltage is a good movie. It's just not that. Well, I don't know. I feel like it's just too over the top. I think like Crime 1, the first one was a much better movie, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. So that's Crank. So yes, guys, so much my videos. My next one. Bye.